Raise your fist to the air. Tunes Brothers everywhere. Rockin' loud, feel the sound. Tunes Brothers smashing ground. Whoa, rebels with guitars in hand. Raise your fist. Raise your fist.
Okay, welcome back into Tunes Brothers. I am Rob. That is Scott. That is Tommy. Darren is working on moving. Hopefully we'll have a video with him Thursday. The long-awaited Final Kiss album. Tom, are you available on Thursday?
Oh, yeah, I'll be home early that day.
What do we got going on now, Scott?
All right, before we go, I'm going to let everybody know that Darren is getting evicted. So that's what it is. He ain't moving on his own. He's getting thrown the hell out. But anyway, and I don't blame him. All right, what we're going to do today is we're going to rank the Kiss album titles on the 20 studio albums. Our, I guess, least favorite to favorite. And I don't really know if you can call it least favorite to favorite. My take on it was, and how I looked at it, does the album title make sense, and or does it go along with the album cover type thing? That's how I done it.
You put a lot more thought into it than I did. I just went by cool names.
Oh, did you? Okay. Well, see, I went to a theme,
Okay.
and it ain't got nothing to do with the albums, guys. So there's going to be some surprises in here on mine, but it ain't got nothing to do with how I like the albums. It ain't got nothing to do with the artwork.
No,
none of that shit. It's the album titles, and
Yep.
to me, do they go with it? Do they make sense? Whatever. So everybody can kind of do these how they want to. The coolest name, like you said, to you, and or whatever. So that's how
I wish I'd have thought about how it fits the theme of the album, but I don't think Kiss really did that well, period, ever. Usually the most thought they put into the album title was, do we have a song called that too? I mean, that's their titles never really measured up to what was audibly on the album.
Well, at least they put songs on the album that has the title of the album on there. But
yeah, well, most of their albums don't have a title track song. That's the crazy thing. Most of the albums that they name Destroyer and all that stuff, there's no song Destroyer, there's no Rock and Roll Over, there's no Hot and Shade, there's no Animal Eyes. So yeah, man, it's kind of
six. I just counted 6 of the albums have a title track.
Yeah, man. So you can do it how you want to. This is kind of just for kicks, man.
Yes, but it had, like you said, it has nothing to do with the songs on the album at all.
No.
Because some of my favorite albums are not doing well on this list as far as titles. So
mine either. So there you go.
Where'd you get that fucking jersey there, Tom? Is that Jason?
Yeah, it's Spirit Halloween.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
It has Vorteen's 13 on the back.
Cool.
Blood. It's funny as yeah, I love this jersey.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm a Jason, Michael Myers, Freddy, and all that.
Me too.
To be honest with you, I'm more of a Freddy because Freddy
was your time.
You can kill him. You can't kill him. Jason, you can.
Well, it depends on which script you're going with, because the later it got, I mean, for Christ's sakes, at one point in time, he was like a big slimy worm that crawled in and out of people's ears. It just got ridiculous. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Him and Michael Myers are basically just evil incarnate. So if you destroy the body, you destroy him. Yeah. The only problem I had with Freddy is I don't need my serial killers dropping one-liners and trying to be comedians. The first Nightmare on Elm Street was the best to me. After that, he started to try to be too funny.
Yeah.
By the third. Sorry, Scott. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying the first two, man, was my favorite too.
I would say the first two as well for me. Well, the first three, 4 or 5. You're right, Rob. It's, he got a little too comical.
And let's not forget about Freddy versus Jason.
I love that movie.
That was an awesome movie. The rave scene was the fucking best in that fucking entire movie. I absolutely loved it. And of course, I love my boy Leatherface. A lot of people have not seen 2 and 3 of the original series, and they should, because the guy, the main mouthpiece for the Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses, was the guy in Texas Chainsaw 2 that would scratch his head with the hanger.
Yeah.
And then he'd eat it. That was it. That was his first.
Oh, what's his name? Fuck.
Awesome actor.
Oh, yeah, he is. I just forget his name.
Yeah. Anyway, not a horror podcast, but I sure love that idea.
It would be a good idea.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on doing these album titles? Was this tough for you, Tom?
It's still tough because I did not know we were doing all 24. I thought we were doing 10.
We're doing 20.
Oh, we're doing 20. That's even better.
Unless you really think a cool title is Kiss Paul Stanley, Kiss Ace Frehley, Kiss Peter Criss, and Kiss Gene Simmons.
Okay. No, I don't count them.
Okay, so then it's 20. The actual 20 releases. None of the only greatest hits on
double
here.
Platinum count?
Nope.
No.
Okay. There is no. These are all studio albums. There is no lives, no greatest hits, no solos.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Yeah, just studio albums, man.
Sorry, I thought we were doing 10. My bad.
Are you prepared? Do you need a couple minutes?
No, I'm pretty much prepared. I got a few more to go.
Do you need one of these right here?
This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, what are you on?
All right, Scott, go ahead and start us off. Number 20.
Yeah, man, I'll go ahead and start, and then you can go, and then you got to give him time, man. My number 20 was Carnival of Souls, and I do like a lot of that album. So, like I said, it ain't got nothing to do with the album. It's just the title, and all they're doing is standing on front of the damn album cover, man. Look like in a damn dingy studio of some kind. Just
see, I didn't put anything into the album cover because to me, art is subjective to some people. And if you want to do that, we already did the album covers, didn't we?
Yeah, we ranked the album work and album covers,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of going along with the theme and how I like the title with the theme of the album cover. So yeah, cool. Carnival of Souls I got a few down there that just don't make no sense to me, but I like a lot of the stuff on the album. So number 20.
All right. My number 20 is simply the debut album, Kiss. I've never been a fan of self-titled albums. It's boring. It's lazy. There's no imagination to it. So just for lack of creativity, the debut album, Kiss, is number 20.
That makes you think too, man. I wonder why all these bands, because there's just so many bands that's done that. I just wonder if they seen people that they looked up to doing their album that way. And that's why they done their album that way, because there's no real reason why you couldn't have come up with a name.
And there's some bands who do the self-titled album name like 3-4 albums in. And that really makes me scratch my head. I'm like, okay, you've had all these titles and now you're just going to give the band name?
Yeah, no, that is strange.
Yeah.
That would be Motley Crue.
Also, what I've never got, and I get it, they're both legendary albums.
Well,
the Beatles' White Album and the Metallica Black Album.
Yeah.
Now I don't remember what the Beatles cover looked like, but the Metallica album, I'm telling you, was a huge marketing blunder. You know how many times a person could just walk right past that and not know there's a new Metallica album? You can't see an album title. You can't see anything unless you hold it up in a light and twist it and turn it to try to see a little, indent of what's on it. Horrible marketing idea.
Now, when that first came out, can you remember? Was that snake in the corner of that album, or was it completely
I honestly
black?
don't remember because I was never a Metallica fan until that album, and a guy named Jason Rassett got us into it. So I only ever knew it once he brought the CD into the car. So as far as I probably saw it a million times and didn't even see it in the record stores because, like I said, it's just a black cover.
Yeah, I think it's always had that snake, but you have to look to
You
see
have to
it.
really look for it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never
Okay.
seen it without that. So
Tom,
Shit,
let
I'm only got 18.
18.
me give you a list of all the names and see what you're missing. All right.
Yeah.
We got, of course, there's Monster, Sonic Boom, Carnival of Souls, Psycho Circus, Revenge, Crazy Nights, Hot in the Shade, Asylum, Animalize, Lick It Up, Creatures of the Night, Dynasty, Unmasked.
That's what I'm missing.
What?
Look it up.
Oh, okay. Well, you got, well, you'd be 19. I thought you said 18. You need 20.
No, I got. Well, yeah, I was just missing number 19
Okay.
Okay. All right.
because I was
You got
stuck
them
with
all?
one more and I couldn't figure out which one it was. So you pretty much got my number 19 early. My bad.
Okay. So you're number 20.
You're number 20, Tom. If you're done, go ahead.
Monster. Disgusting album. Throw it in the garbage and set it on fire with kerosene and gasoline.
Okay. You know this is album title ranking, right? Not the songs.
Yes.
Not the
Okay.
album, yeah. Okay.
I don't
So
I hate
Well, that
everything
album
about
has
it.
pissed you off so thoroughly that you even hate the name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
You could have come up with anything better than Monster.
Yeah,
Here's the
and that's where I'm
Like
gonna
you're
leapfrog.
70 to 60 something year old man, and the best thing you can come up with is a
Well,
Monster.
here's what killed me. How they came up with doing that Monster M, just like the Mountain Dew energy drink, and how did they not get sued for it?
Ain't
Right.
that the Monster energy drink?
The Monster
Yeah, that's
energy
what I'm
drink,
saying.
the M is virtually the same fucking thing as the M in the word monster for Kiss.
I don't know, and I would have been a little bit more receiving of that cover if that would
If
have
they
been a
were
Monster on
sponsored?
the damn cover.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I would have been more receiving of that text if it would have been sponsored by Pepsi or something. But
Yeah.
they clearly, and let's not, I know why they did it, even if it's not identical. And I'm sure someone like Lewis will come on and say, hey, Rob, you're a fucking idiot. The corner of the left side of the M turns a different direction. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They clearly were going to make it look like it because that was one of the most iconic icons for that Monster energy drink since the Michael Jordan leaping through logo. It was on everybody's bumper or back window or whatever, just that giant M for the Monster energy drink. And then Kiss comes out with an album with almost the identical fucking M.
Yeah,
I had
and that's one thing that annoyed the hell out of me is the fact that all these bands claim copyright of their music, but yet they can go around and use names, logos, things like that, and not get sued for it. And at that time, I don't even think Kiss had a contract for Monster. They had a contract with Walmart. No, I didn't think so either.
Walmart was the last big contract they had for Sonic Boom.
Yeah. Well,
I think I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm sure I'm wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me if Kiss put that out themselves or some tiny startup record company or something. Was it actually Polygram or a Mercury record? I didn't have the vinyl. I still don't have the vinyl.
They came out with a vinyl for it.
But was it by Mercury and Polygram and all that stuff that they were normally under? Or is it at that time, was it pushed into Universal?
I think it was Piston.
Okay, well, whatever.
If I'm not mistaken.
Lewis will correct us on that too.
Probably.
I've never had that vinyl, so I don't know. I'm gonna piggyback 19 Monster. And the reason is because it's not because how horrible the album is, it's because they're posing on the front just like back in the old days almost, man, and just called it Monster. I mean, Gene, is it Gene's title? You know, he's the demon, the monster, right? I mean,
Wouldn't surprise me. It was his idea.
Let me ask you guys this, because I never saw the later tours, didn't care to. Was the spider for Sonic Boom the spider stage, or was that Monster?
that was Monster.
Okay, there's your
That
Monster.
was Monster, and I don't think when I saw them, I don't think I got the spider stage.
Yeah, they only
I
used
did.
it on. I haven't even had it. Yeah, they only used
I
it
did.
briefly, from what I understand.
I wish
it
they would have
was
saw that part.
It was horrible. I mean, it didn't do anything but let them down in the middle like that,
Yep,
and
that's what they did
go
for
back
me.
up, and its legs would move, you know, a little at a time. This one over here, that one over there. I don't know, man. But
No,
anyway, yeah,
we know all of this is done with stage designers, but we also know nothing gets to go ahead without Paul's okay. You can see it's incredible hindsight, looking back, how early they started mailing this shit in, right? I mean, besides the lack of fucking creativeness with the songs, the horrible production of these albums, but even the stage shows were just I mean,
yeah.
you could see the minute that reunion, the first reunion ended and they were transferring into the farewell, that they were pretty much, fuck this, let's just go out there and go through the motions.
I will give them creativeness on the Sonic Boom tour though, because they came on stage totally different that time, and they didn't come down from the top. They came up over the drums, man, like that, man. And it set them down in front, dude. That was bad. And
And wasn't that the
going,
one where Tommy and Eric had a dual solo?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think
That was, I saw that and that on the YouTube. That was fucking cool.
No,
yeah,
seeing it live was phenomenal.
yeah,
My
they
jaw
did
was
do a
on the
great
floor
job.
the entire time.
That's the only way I want to see a solo, but if it's any individual instrument just going on for 10 minutes, I'm fine in the bathroom or whatever. I mean, that's just boring time.
That's just the time to grab your beer, merchandise, take a piss.
Yeah.
Number 19 for me, one of my favorite albums of all time by any band, really. But the title, I don't give a shit if it was supposed to be for a movie or not. Music from the Elder. And I'm taking these album titles in their full form. I just call it Elder. That's not the name of the album. Music from the Elder is completely stupid. Even if there was a masterpiece box office hit movie off of it, the title, when you put music from, I'm thinking Sound of Music and all this old bullshit, soundtracks. It should have just been The Elder. Even that would have been a terrible name, but putting music from in front of it just really, terrible, terrible choice. Again, especially when you're not even sure there's going to fucking be a movie. You're going to not only release the soundtrack to a movie that hasn't even been written or going into production, but you're going to flat out own it, saying this is the music from the Elder. So for the rest of your natural born lives, you're going to say, what's the Elder? Where's the Elder? What's this the music from? It's just horrible. Talking about bad decisions. That album title, putting the album out before the movie's even in production, just other than the songs being fabulous, in my opinion, this whole thing was handled like a fucking mess, on top of not even putting the band on the fucking album anywhere, front or back or inside, nowhere. Talk about an album you could just walk by if you don't see that little tiny Kiss logo in the upper corner.
That's what I done too, man.
Yeah.
Didn't buy it.
Not to mention, it's just a hand, Paul's hand on the cover. That's really nothing to.
I will say the gatefold is fabulous, but the front cover does nothing for me.
That's understandable. It's plain.
Yeah. All right, to you, Scott, or Tommy, 19.
My number 19. Ring the bell, Rob. Music from the Elder. Nothing pisses me off more than Monstera's Music of the Elder because of the factor it's just a hand, and like you said, the small kiss in the corner. I understand musically wise. I understand that they were going for an opera movie, whatever that was supposed to come out. I wish it would have came out because it would have been badass to see something like that, even in comic book.
As long as they weren't fucking in it. I think we've
Right.
all learned that collectively those 4 idiots couldn't act their way out of a fucking wet paper bag.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at Phantom.
Wow.
Another month. Another.
Look at every fucking movie Gene's even done. The only one he looked remotely and he actually did a decent job in was Trick or Treat. That's because he only had like 10 lines.
Yeah.
In like 3 scenes, maybe 2. And Trick or Treat's a badass movie.
Yes, it is.
I love that.
Even if it is Skippy as the main actor.
Yeah.
Who would have saw that coming? I know this is before your time, Tom, but who would have saw that coming, Scott? Back in the Family Ties days, that dorky old Skippy was going to play a metalhead.
Oh, okay. Wow.
He done a hell of a job with it.
Yeah, he did a great job, but man,
He played the role good.
It's a weird casting.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised it turned out as good as it did, to be honest with you.
Me too. All right, back to you for 18 there, Scotty.
All right. Here we go with another one that, like I said, it ain't got nothing to do with the albums. It's just the title and the cover combined, I guess, with the theme. Crazy Nights number 18. There's a broken mirror with 4 pictures of these guys on it, and it's Crazy Nights. So nothing really to describe.
Yeah, I know it's not much, but I always thought it was cool because it reminded me almost like they were, using Paul's Cracked Mirror guitar theme. So that's kind of why I thought that was. I don't know. It has nothing to do with the word Crazy Nights. I mean, Crazy Nights, that should have been like the back album cover of Hotter Than Hell. Them with half naked chicks and shit. I mean, a Crazy Nights really has nothing to do with a broken mirror, but
yeah, unless they're indicating cocaine with broken mirror. Now I know they
but everybody who did that shit was out of the band by then.
Yeah, and it was all around them all the time too. So I don't know, So that's my number 18. Yeah.
All right, my number 18 for different reasons than Scott, because I didn't take in consideration the cover or theme. I kind of wish I would have now, but being as how we've already done album covers, I wanted to strictly do names. And I love the title Carnival of Souls, but that's not the title of the album. Carnival of Souls, The Final Sessions. The final sessions of what? The final fucking sessions of what? That is so vague. You're going on to do a fucking reunion tour and make 3 more albums with supposedly the original lineup. What is this the final episodes of? Eric and Bruce? No, because Eric's going to end up in Kiss in the future with makeup. It makes no sense. This would have only made sense if it was their final album ever to put the final sessions on there.
I agree. I didn't think about the final sessions, but yeah, you're right. Damn.
I like the fact that it looks like a garage band cover. Like
definitely what they were going for with the grunge thing. That's definitely they're all wearing fucking some bum's clothes off the street, and The only thing missing was Paul Stanley in a cardigan and his hair messed up. All right, you're 18, Tommy.
My number 18 is Destroyer.
What? You don't like that title?
No, I don't. I think that it could have been a lot more destructive than a word destroyer.
Obliteration?
Annihilation would have been good.
When I hear destroyer,
or even call it God or Gods of Thunder instead of God of Thunder. Just call it Gods of Thunder.
That would have been fucking cool.
You
but
know?
Destroyer, when I think of Destroyer, I think of speed metal bands, right? Because everything is about chaos and stuff like that. I think it's kind of a cool title. I don't love it, but I don't think it's that bad, especially if you're going to take consideration that they're standing on top of a city or whatever in ruins and flames. They destroyed it, whatever. I mean, it makes sense visually.
It's not that I don't, I hate it per se. I just think that maybe they could have just done a lot better. Like, I think they could have done it, call it God of Thunder, or, Flaming Youth would have been a better title.
No. As much as I love that song, in the 70s, do you realize what kind of Village People label would have been put on this band if they had flaming in the title?
Oh, shit.
You think so?
Flaming. Yeah, no.
I mean,
not in the 70s, man.
I guess. All right. Yeah, in the setting, I got to put myself in that setting. You're right about that. But, I just change it out. The album cover is beautiful. The artwork on it's beautiful. They're just and their poses.
I'll go as far as to say that fucking album cover needs to go in the Smithsonian right next to the Mona Lisa. That is the most perfect goddamn capture of a scary ass rock band ruling the world. Just amazing artwork.
And I do have to say, I also had to whip my last part of the list.
Yes, I know, Lewis, that the Mona Lisa is not in the Smithsonian. It's an expression. All right, go ahead, Tom.
And I also, forgive me, I also had to whip this up real quickly because, again, I didn't know they were doing 20. I thought we were doing 10. So forgive me if these sound off. Things are not where I would really true them like them to be.
On this. So number 17, I went with Dynasty because
the soap opera.
You got 4 faces on front of a damn, instead of artwork, you just got their faces on front of it, and it's Dynasty. Okay.
Means nothing.
I mean, and it's things you don't think about too, man.
This was their first period of mailing shit in, completely lost, having no concept of cohesiveness from the songs on any album to the look of their own costumes to the album covers. I know you and many people love the unmasked comic book thing. I do not. This is a band that was already bitching in Dynasty of looking out and seeing nothing but kids with their families. So what do they follow it up with? A cartoon comic book series for an album cover. They lost their way hardcore in this trilogy of albums, Dynasty, Unmasked, and The Elder. Like you said, Dynasty, the word is cool, but if you're just going to have 4 fucking faces sitting there looking at you, what are you a dynasty of? What are you saying? No thought process into a lot. Early on, and we'll all get to them, the album covers meant something short of the self-titled. There was a theme to why the album covers were what they were.
Yeah.
Not here. Not in the late 80s or late 70s through the 80s. Very rare did the cover make any fucking sense at all. What does 4 pastel colored guys with paintbrush streaks have to do with an asylum? That cover would have had them in the straight jackets like the insert of Dynasty had. And there you go. Dynasty. What's that got to do with straight jackets? That was supposed to be the original album cover. Okay, again, straight jackets in the same, then call it, Asylum back then for Dynasty. What does Dynasty have to do with 4 guys in straight jackets?
They could have had them looking through bars or something.
Something.
I mean, yeah.
What bugs me is that I saw a photo on my Facebook with Peter Criss on the bottom of it, just looking at somebody like he is pissed off, like he does not want to be there at that photo shoot. Like you can see the misery on their faces completely.
Oh, Dynasty?
On Dynasty, yeah.
Oh, yeah, every one of them, just about, dude. Yeah. Yeah, you can see it's already, yeah.
All right, so that's number 17 to me. I hate this fucking name, and I hate it for 2 reasons. Sonic Boom. I hate it for 3 reasons. Number 1, it's just a stupid fucking name. But number 2, ever since the release of this album, all I can think of when I see that is Sonic the Hedgehog, and it pisses me off because I shouldn't be associating that with a hard rock band. And the third reason is because Paul somewhere sat in a room and thought, you know what would be a good stage rap? Boom! Boom! The most cringe-worthy fucking minute and a half he's ever done, and he did it and he's done it in tours since. I think I saw one highlight from the fair or the end of the road where he fucking did it. It is so lame. How is his wife, his kids, his friends, his family? How has not anybody said, Jesus Christ, dude, that's stupid?
It's like he's talking to preschoolers.
Yes.
Hit him with a drumstick or something.
Honest to God.
Man.
God damn it. There. I tell you, Peter would have been warranted the chuck of the stick to the back of the head while he was mumbling on about that shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. To you, Tommy, number 17.
My number 17 would be Dynasty.
Ding, ding.
I don't like the album cover because they all obviously they're miserable. It has nothing to do with the music. I've said it in a previous video.
Explain Gene's constipated look to me on that fucking album.
Maybe he was. Maybe he took some X-Lax before the
no tongue or nothing, just that grimace. Is that supposed to be scary? What the fuck is that?
It looks like he's being electrocuted by a dog collar.
Yeah. Didn't have costumes on the poster or nothing, man. Just what? Black t-shirts, straight jackets,
black t-shirts.
God damn,
I mean,
man.
I know this is not about the music. Like, I dig the music on it because, you know, it reminds me of disco and it's good. You could dance to it, honestly.
Stand up and give us some dance music.
No, thanks. I'm not a good dancer.
Okay. What else?
No, I mean, the fact is just you can, again, with the misery on the faces, you can just see the downfall of the band, the personal issues. You can it just reads, you know, we're not happy to do this anymore. You know, we should just stop, hang it up at this point. And it really shows.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank God musically it doesn't.
Yeah.
No,
16, Scotty.
16 is Lick It Up. And I don't know, maybe because Gene's tongue's hanging out on there or something. I don't know. Here we go with, I always said and always will, Kiss without makeup album covers should be like Iron Maiden. With makeup, you've got something to put. You've got an image. You've got the, you know, artwork or whatever. But I just lick it up.
I think at that point it's a little late to jump on a mascot like Eddie from Iron Maiden. What I think they should have done is, you're right. I mean, outside of Paul Stanley, you really didn't want to showcase these guys' look.
Have
at
a
the
chick
time.
licking something, man. I mean, anything.
Well,
like
they could have went the typical hair metal way, but they also could have done like the ELO Boston way, right? Just really cool artwork that involves their logo.
Yeah,
I would like that. I would like that. Put Kiss on it with blood dripping down on it, you know?
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I do love the white background, but imagine if they would have been in costumes and makeup on that white background, if they were still in it. Then you would have had something.
They could have slapped that. They could have slapped that Japanese logo they did on Holler Hell on there, and just that, and people would have been like, "What is this?"
I'll tell you, this should have been called Unmasked.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you wanted to do 4 guys standing there and no makeup with nothing going on in the background, this is your first album with no makeup. I never understood the Unmasked angle when they did it, just to have them all holding a Halloween mask of themselves with their makeup behind it. It was stupid. It had no point or purpose or rhyme or reason for that album. This would have been a perfect time to pull out the title Unmasked.
For real, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So what was that one? Who did that?
I done Lick It Up for number 16.
All right. I also have Lick It Up at number 16. This album cover makes no sense for the name. And again, I'm not doing it that way. But the reason is not that. It is lick it up. Lick what up? Did somebody spill something on aisle 5? Lick it up. You lick my anus. What are you doing? It is beyond boring. I mean, lick it up. That's it. Great song, great album. Horrible.
Yep.
It should have been called Exciter.
I mean,
Exciter or Unmasked.
we're talking about music, so bringing taste sensory into the fucking title when there's no image to back it up. You know what would have been a good title that lick it up for? The original cover for Poison's Open Up and Say Ah with a chick with the giant tongue.
Yeah.
That would have made sense. That would have made sense. But four guys just standing, whether Gene's tongue's out or not, his tongue's out on everything. Whatever.
Yeah.
I think Gene's tongue being out was because he had a hard time with letting go of the demon character.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He did, man.
Now, there is rumor out there that he did spit blood one time on that tour. And I've seen interviews with him, and I think he said he honestly can't remember, or if it was during a sound check and they decided it didn't work with the look. I don't know if it's true or not. It's just a much discussed internet rumor.
I don't understand how it wouldn't work. He's dressed in leather and studs.
Well, it worked for Mick Mars in the Livewire video.
Right.
He still breathes fire, but the blood, I just don't think would work right, man. Yeah, I just don't think so.
Okay, 16, Tommy.
My number 16 is Unmasked. Though I've said this to a lot of people, I'm a comic book fan. I don't like how the cover is just a big old comic strip.
Oh.
I get the fact that it's trying to tell a story of a photographer or a paparazzi dude trying to get their picture taken without their makeup on, and it's just it looks as though that it's just copies of photos back in the day with their faces covered and bandanas and stuff, and it's just like not a fan of it. It just looks like a Marvel sellout cover, and not to mention Unmasked should have been a look it up title as well. I agree
You can actually it's a huge discussion. People point to Kiss Me Savannah of the Park. I'm telling you, that Marvel was the start of the end. When they did those Kiss comics, that was the downfall starting.
I honestly think this should have been renamed Marvel Sellout, or at least called Sellout, because at this point you could obviously tell that they're Marvel sellouts at this point. They've done comics, and then you slap a comic book story strip on there. Like, come on, Gene. Who in the band loves comics?
Gene's a big comic book fan.
So I wonder whose idea was to slap a big old comic strip on the dang thing and say, let's call it Unmasked.
15, Scott.
Number 15 is, we just got done talking about it just a little bit ago, Asylum. Love the album, man. But you got four pasty faces on a cover with, some dreamy, glowy neon lights, and it's Asylum. So, I mean, Asylum's a cool damn name, but if you would have had something to go along with it, that would have really been a good thing, especially in the mid-'80s at the time, But, hey, here's us with powder on our faces, and it's Asylum. So that's why. No real detail, just doesn't fit.
Now, who the hell thought it was a good idea to replace the green and blue from Peter and Ace to like neon green and purple and red, and what was the other color, yellow or something? Why are they still at this point trying to live off of every guy's got his own color stupid shit? That is so in the past at this point.
Yeah, and they put it on their lips, right?
Yeah.
And it was I don't know if they
Gimmick.
thought people would even notice that, but people that have been Kiss fans since the solo albums, they're gonna damn well know that they are doing that for a reason. Yeah.
Gimmick. You know, they're a band that like to be gimmicky. So it could have been
Yeah.
just a
Oh,
gimmick
well.
decision.
Yeah. Great concert, great show, but the album cover just doesn't fit.
All right, my number 15. I loved this name back in the day, but it is not aged well for me, and that is Hot in the Shade. Again, this is not on album covers for me because I love Leon the Sphinx wearing shades. I think that's cool. But Hot in the Shade, again, as a title, really doesn't describe anything. It's not giving you an idea of what kind of band it is, what kind of songs, what genre this is going to be, what to expect. Just Hot in the Shade. Okay, so it's hot even in the shade. That thanks. What's that got to do with the fucking album? I mean, yeah, you got a big Sphinx, but there's no shade. I mean, the Sphinx ain't getting shade.
Not in the desert, bro.
Yeah, whatever. Again, like I said, it's just not a good name for an album. Tommy.
My number 15 would
Sure.
be Lick It Up. Simple reason, the fact that it's just 4 of them on a white cover, nothing too extravagant. Obviously, again, Gene is sticking his tongue out for no reason.
I will say I love that cover. I love the way they're all dressed, and it's the only photo where Vinnie Vincent doesn't look like a complete buffoon.
I like the cover. It's
it just doesn't work. It doesn't fit the name, but I do like the cover. I do like the cover.
The reason they done it is because look, we're not in makeup anymore. That's the only reason they done it with that big.
It had to be addressed once. You knew it had to be addressed at least once, and I think that's the only time there's an album cover with them and their faces, real faces, because Asylum's a painting. I mean, so really, they never went with their faces again until they put the makeup back on.
You know, what they could have done is you could have had 4 of them, you know, in the corners and having them take off like what is like theater masks with their
half face.
Yeah. And call
like
it Unmasked.
Like Peter Criss's album. Like Peter Criss's album. Peter half. Yeah.
And, you know, just call it Unmasked, you know?
Yeah, there's a couple of them could have been.
Or even have the Kiss logo have half of it like in orange and then the other half is like running down black and white makeup. And it just says again, Unmasked. I don't understand why it's Lick It Up. Lick Up, the mustard that fell off the floor, whatever you want to call it, Lick It Up. It's a boring track. It's a boring, not a boring track, but it's a boring title, really, to me. Lick It Up. Okay. Boring.
Okay.
It's a boring. I think a mask would have been a better fit for that.
So bottom line, Lick It Up's boring.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Scott, go ahead.
14. Y'all are probably going to freak on this one. And it's because the same thing that I'm going on. I know we're not all going on the same thing. Love Gun. I mean, they're standing on stage, man, with chicks worshiping them in the audience with white face paint. I love the cover. It's actually one of my favorites of all time of any band. The artwork, everything.
Oh, bullshit. That's one of your favorite because of the fucking chicks with the big hooters all over it.
Yeah, that's the main reason right there. It just doesn't have a theme, man. Now the back of it, they say does. I never knew that for a long time, but hell, we're not talking about the back.
How obsessed do you have to be with the male genitalia to all of a sudden have this epiphany that the names of the song on the back form a penis? Are you fucking kidding me?
That is crazy.
Who's that guy? Whoever you are, if you're watching, come out of the closet if you're already not. if the first thing you see is a dick made of letters when you look at a song track listing, you've got some serious love of the cock going on. That's all I can say.
It's okay nowadays, brother. It's okay. You can come out, like you said. But yeah, the only reason I put it there is because it's called Love Gun, and it's just them on stage with chicks out in the audience. That's it. I mean, everything else about the album I love completely.
Yeah. So I'm on number 14, and this one I'm going to need your guys' opinion on. Rock and Roll Over. And the reason this has dropped, in my opinion, is because I don't know how it's supposed to be said. Because I have always, my whole life, said Rock and Roll Over. Then I start listening to Three Sides of the Coin years ago, and Tommy Summers routinely pronounces it Rock and Roll Over. And I hate it when people enunciate the wrong fucking word. It drives me nuts. It's like those people who say Thanksgiving instead of Thanksgiving. They punch that fucking thanks. Not necessary. But he says rock and roll over, like rock being fucked and then roll over and what? Take it in the other side? I don't get it. To me, it's rock and roll and then over, like over and over and over, rock and roll over. Hence why it's in a circle on the fucking thing, spinning like a saw. Yes.
Rock and
either way,
roll over. Yeah.
Yes. Either way, it's not that bad. Again, I'm getting into the ones that I don't mind to really like now. I just never understood why the different enunciation on that. When Tommy Summers says it, I just cringe. I rock and roll over. Who fucking says that? He's the only person I've ever known or heard say it like that.
Yeah. It's not an N, bro. It's an and. Rock and roll over. Yeah,
Rock
exactly.
and roll over.
But he punches the end roll over. It's like rock is almost silent. It's rock and roll over. No, you don't enunciate the roll over. It's rock and roll over if you want to fucking enunciate something. I mean, rock and roll is a phrase. It's not rock and, oh, by the way, roll over. Whatever.
No, I've never heard that.
Little nitpicks. Okay, Tommy.
My number 14 would be Kiss, the solo album title. Or not solo, the debut.
Debut. There you go. Now you're learning.
The debut album cover, Kiss. It's plain simple, and I understand why they did it, because they were just, new and fresh, but you could have come up with something in your face, since you are a in your face band at the time starting, and they were in your face on television, live performances. They were in your face, concert halls, they couldn't really get anybody to, for them to headline, because they were so in your face. They could have done something a lot better than just, here is Kiss. No, they could have done a lot better than that.
What would have been the name of that album, man? Black
Destroyer.
Diamond? Kiss Black
Destroyer.
Diamond?
I would have called that one Destroyer.
Black Diamond would have been pretty cool, but again, it would really paint no picture of what the cover was.
You'd have to have a black diamond in between them there, or something sparkling, or something. Yeah.
Before we put this self-titled stuff to bed, I want to talk to you about this, Scott, because I know you're a decent Van Halen and Led Zeppelin fan.
Okay.
The only thing worse than that is bands who forego titles and number their fucking albums. I hate that. Van Halen 1, Led Zeppelin 3. I hate that. But with those two bands in particular, was the first album called 1? Was it called Van Halen 1? Was it called Led Zeppelin 1?
Van Halen was called just Van Halen, man.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if you come out and say, okay, this is our first album, we're going to call it Led Zeppelin 1. Who's to say your record company doesn't drop your ass and you don't ever have a Led Zeppelin 2? That would be completely stupid. But when you want to go with the self-title, that's great. But if all you want to be some sophisticated artist, and we're not going to go for some glorified, catchy eyeball popping title. We're just going to call it number 2. number 3. How about A? How about B? It's so lazy. It's so simplistically stupid. Be creative.
You know,
Right.
and Led Zeppelin done that through the first 4
Yeah.
before they started putting names on their albums.
Yeah.
So
They were too good for album names back then. That was something only the people who kowtowed down to the system did. Fuck off. Whatever. All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Number 13, Scott?
Number 13. And this one right here's it's a good name, but Hotter Than Hell.
Whoa.
You know.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love the title, but it's just them on front of it, man. You know, just posing.
Okay, you know what? That would have also been a good title for for Destroyer's album cover with the burning cities.
Yeah, man. Have some flames coming out the side or in between them or something, you know, like the Kiss Originals.
Yeah.
Album cover. You know, that big bomb that blows up and you got them in flames, man. You know, but I love Hotter Than Hell. It's my favorite.
And I haven't really looked at the cover in a long time. I thought as a kid, and I guess I still would think the Originals cover was that first cover, and the flames were coming out of Gene's mouth and surrounding everybody. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I've seen that somewhere.
They could have had chicks surrounding them on the cover of that one since they had that big orgy party on the back, you know, half dressed or whatever, and Hotter Than Hell that way too, you know. But it's just the theme thing for me. Like I said, if I'd have went strictly on names, this wouldn't be that low.
Right.
I'm just matching it to the album itself, you know. So, yeah, that would be my number 13.
For me, 13 is Asylum. I liked this title then. I still do now. Obviously, the cover is shit and arguably one of Kiss's worst covers ever and makes no sense with the title, but I really do like the title. I think it would have been more fitting in the 70s when you had two people who should have been in Asylum in the band, but it's a cool fucking name.
Yeah, and one of them wound up in the Asylum. Peter Criss did wind up in the Asylum. Yeah.
Hell, they thought Peter Criss was a homeless bum at one point. Turns out it was somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that episode of it was some talk show where they had Foster on there. What?
I'm surprised.
Donahue.
Yeah, Donahue.
I'm surprised Peter Criss didn't clock him one right there.
He wanted to, man.
I'm sure he did.
Man. His mom just dying too, man. He was going through all kinds of shit.
Okay, 13 to you, Tommy.
Dress to Kill. My number 13 is Dress to Kill. I understand the concept for it, Dress to Kill, suits. It's one and two, and it's also really not my favorite album at all.
Careful, you're gonna make that vein in Scott's head pop.
Well, let it pop out because there's really not anything good on the album musically, except for Rock and Roll All Night and She.
Shit, man. God dang.
And as for title goes, it's not a bad title. It's decent. But again, it's just not it's number 13 because, again, it's just not my favorite title. And musically, it just has two good tracks on it.
Let's just leave it at that. All right. We got it. All right. Yeah. You've said enough. Thank you very much.
Surprised it's not my 17. I'm actually surprised that's not my 18. It would have been.
Oh,
it was close to my 18.
For once, I'm not the asshole. All right, number 12 for me is Unmasked. Again, cool concept, and they're not trying to tie too much into it, but since they unmasked nothing, it was kind of a pointless title for an album at that point in time. But still, a cool concept. I just think they could have done something a little more creative than the fucking cartoon shit, but that's just my opinion.
I'm going to get there. I won't put too much on it now. So, all right, here's where I think both of you have done touched on this way back, and the reason I hung on to it is because it does have a theme. I'm a what you would call a slash, Christian Mormon. I was grown up as a Mormon, the Mormon religion. So we have a lot of missionaries, elders, and stuff that go door
I
to
respect
door,
that.
and that's just I grew up seeing that. So yeah, I see the concept of the elder music from the elder on the album cover. Man, it does fit the theme of the album, even though it's a beyond stupid concept of something that we don't even know how much of it was even written. I mean, if they want to put out something with these box sets and these off the soundboards and stuff, why don't they put the script to the music from the elder in one of those and let us read what the hell this was and how far they got with it? Just anything like that, man.
I would
But
like to have just, if anything, put a fucking videotape in one of these box sets or a DVD or something of Paul and
DVD.
Gene now, right now, Paul and Gene sitting down, swallowing all their personal hatred and embarrassment, and actually explaining what the plan was, how far did it get into production, was there casting, was there anything, what was the movie going to be about? I mean, I get so irritated with them because they don't like something. They figure the rest of us don't have a right to know about it. And that's just horseshit to do to your fans. But
And that's one thing that aggravates me about Kiss, man. They don't seem to give a shit enough about us
no,
Kiss
they're
fans.
supposed to be all about the fans, but it's only what they want to give you.
That to me is just a crock of shit because it's not the truth.
It's one of the biggest lies that band has ever found.
I would like to see them come out with a Music of the Elder movie now with
It was
today's
supposed to
CGI
happen.
and
It was
everything.
supposed to happen a handful of years ago. Someone was supposedly working on it, completely unrelated to Kiss, but they were doing it as a tribute. I don't know whatever happened, but
make it a video game and sell it to the younger teenage crowd that don't know who Kiss is, and they'll find out who they are.
There you go.
Anything.
Marketing. Come on, Gene, you're a businessman.
He's too busy fucking selling pot now out of one side of his mouth while the other side talks about how stupid drugs are.
And alcohol.
Yeah.
So,
and he's got Gene Simmons booze too, but you're an idiot if you drink. Yeah.
But yeah, you're an idiot if you drink and smoke pot, but I'm going to sell it though, right? Man.
Yeah.
He's only doing it because these rappers are doing it, to be honest with you, and they're making money off it.
Gene Simmons would sell probably his wife if he could to get money. I mean, literally, dude. There's nothing else I can say about this guy.
Really wouldn't surprise me.
And I hear countless people talking about what a gentleman he is to talk to. I don't give a shit what facade he puts out. He may be a super nice guy, but at the end of the day, deep down beneath all the layers, he is the biggest piece of shit human being that I have ever fucking read, listened to, and followed. In every aspect of life, this is the very definition of self-centered, egotistical fucking narcissist that you'll ever come across.
Yeah, and he openly admits it too. He's not one that does not
funny. He thinks it's something to brag about.
Yeah, I didn't need no friends. I just use people for money. That's it, man.
Although you know what I do find funny is how he does his very first Rolling Stone interview, and his mother opens up the door.
Yeah, well, he was great to his mom and his kids. That's about the extent of it.
Yeah.
And at the time, he's portraying himself as this big bad demon, and turns out the big bad demon's just a mama's boy.
He's never been the big bad demon. I mean,
what makes me laugh is there's some of these things he's went to, these award shows, ceremonies, whatever, little shit, but there's YouTube videos over the last few years, and someone will be disrespectful in the audience, and there's one where he gets off stage and starts walking down there like a tough guy doing this, and he's going to track this guy down and kick him out. Meanwhile, he's surrounded by all of his security. I'm like, real tough, Gene. Give me a fucking break.
I love that one. Some guy calls him out on something. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I had it replayed in my head. He just steps down and starts.
So what number was that, Scott? The elder you did?
That was my number 12, Music from the Elder.
Did I go first?
Yes, it's
Okay.
Tom.
My number 12 would be
Yeah.
Carnival of Souls.
The final session.
The final sessions. Like the cover background, it's garagey, grunge era. Not a big fan of grunge though.
Why didn't they have spirits coming out of them or something? I don't know. Never mind.
To me, it could have been their garage tape album. Like Metallica put one out. I think a lot of the bands at the time were putting out a garage tape album, if I'm not mistaken. And I figured Kiss would be like, why not do it? If other bands are doing it, we can do it, I guess. And to me, the name Sessions, it doesn't live up to the album at all. It could have just been Carnival and Souls, and I would have been okay with that. It's just an extended, not needed Sessions. It's just not needed in the
I
title.
believe it was supposed to be originally toyed with called In My Head, and the cover was this black face choking himself out with a zipper unzipped on the skull.
Yeah,
would have been a way better concept.
That was cool.
Yeah. All right, so that's number 12 to me, 11 to me, right?
11 to you.
Here I got Love Gun. Cool name, but at this point in time, before Paul makes it a sexual thing, I don't think those two words had ever been used together in the history of mankind. So there's something Paul created, a euphemism for the dick, Love Gun. But the name itself does grab your attention. I probably would have never thought of something like this, or even putting gun in the title of everything for the type of band Kiss is. Usually that's something you're going to see in a fucking death metal band or something, but combining love and gun is an interesting concept and a pretty catchy title once you know what it is. Of course, you don't know what it is till you read the lyrics to the song on the album, but not bad.
All right.
Great fucking song.
Damn right. 11. I think Tom just touched on it. Now we're starting to, with Music from the Elder, we're starting to have a theme with mine. Next one is Dressed to Kill. Yeah, they're dressed in suits on the front, man. You got. Now look, one of the worst album covers they ever done. I just don't understand why you're doing black and white like it's 1940. And for God's sakes, man, can you not get them a pair of pants that fits? I mean, especially
you don't like Dean's 6-inch floods?
I thought they were bitching, man. I thought they were bitching on the cover.
Socks that match or something. How damn blue socks with a tan. Get the hell out of here. What the hell, man? The rest of them look pretty damn good, but Gene just looked like he looked like a bum, bro, for real, in makeup. So, but anyway, hey, man, Dressed to Kill, yeah, they're dressed in their manager suits, Bill Coin suits, Of course,
I was about to say, don't take fashion tips to Bill Coin. You won't get a suit in your size.
Yeah, he had fashion, but it was whatever. But yeah, it just. Damn, at that point in time, it does make you think. Now, I know we're not doing album covers here, but Hotter Than Hell was flashy. The first one was flashy and glittery. But you're going to come out with a burnt, looks like it's been burnt with ash on it, man, looking cover for your third album. But anyway, great album, in my opinion. But Dressed to Kill, number 11.
Tommy.
My number 11 would be Psycho Circus. Kiss is known for their albums that have a theme. I think this is one of them. There's just way too many of them at this point. Psycho Circus could have been named something else. I mean, it was a circus throughout the entire tour, leading on to the reunion tour, so they got that part right. But Psycho, there's nothing psycho about it. What is so psycho about it?
That evil clown.
Other than the evil clown. Other than the evil clown.
I guess Psycho, them getting back together and doing a damn album, which was fake anyway. Of
All
course,
right,
they didn't.
all right. I gotta bring it up. What was first, Carnival of Sins or Carnival or Psycho Circus?
A Carnival of Sins.
Wasn't that Motley Crue's fucking Big Top Circus tour?
Yeah. Psycho Circus was way before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then Motley ripped off Kiss, because that's if you look at the beginning, if you look at that Psycho Circus video, if you look at all the artwork, the holographic stuff, that all comes to fruition in Motley Crue's tour.
Yeah, and that tour, they did have that big. It looked like a giant circus. They did have it draped to the max, man. I mean, yeah, I know you.
That's the whole fucking cover of the Kiss fucking thing. There's the wagon wheel thing with the faces, like the fun house. Then there's another one, or the back of it's got the big, curtain with the fucking magic symbols on it and shit. This was all dreamed up for Psycho Circus, and apparently Motley Crue took notice and ran with it.
Yeah,
I think it would have been a better concept for the tour, having it being a carnival like a circus carnival.
That's what I thought would happen. There'd be like a big top tent over the top or something, or fun house mirrors all over, something to fit it in. But like I said, around this time,
curtain?
I never went to the show.
Which one?
Psycho Circus.
I remember them having like a red curtain that dropped down, but that was about it.
They didn't make it out here on that. They stopped doing it and they started the reunion. So, I mean, the Farewell tour. So I still call it the Psycho Circus tour, but it was already Farewell before they come out here.
Wow. So, we've already stated how they could have been mailing it in for years to this point. So the fact that they put all their effort into a cover and never followed it up with the actual stage doesn't surprise me.
3D.
Yeah.
Wasn't really 3D.
Well, there was a part of it that was 3D supposedly or something, but
the screen in the background.
Big fucking deal. Whatever. That does as much for me as a holographic Dio on stage. The man's dead. Yeah. Impressive graphic. It's not him. I'm not paying money to go stand and watch a hologram. I just whatever.
And I tell you, when you put the damn glasses on, I mean, really? Yeah. I mean, come on, man. 11. I mean, 10.
No, I got to do 10.
Oh, okay. No, I'm getting ready.
I'm not bad, guys. I'm trying to make this as much about the titles as much as I possibly can.
You do however you want to do it, man. Number 10 for me is Dynasty. Not to be confused with the late night soap opera. Still think it's a cool name, whether it's, a football franchise or whatever. Just the whole concept of Dynasty works, but they should have rolled an album title like this out about 3 albums before, when they actually were a fucking dynasty, not when they changed their look, changed their image, changed their sound, and sold out to and I love disco, but sold out to the pop disco-y thing, the glitter, the glam, all that stuff. Now is not the time to say you're a dynasty. Of course, if I take you guys' route, the album cover, absolutely ludicrous that you would call it dynasty when it's just 4 guys' faces. They're not a dynasty. I mean, not at this point. I mean, that ship had passed. I mean, it was like the New England Patriots without Tom Brady now. That's what Kiss had become by the time Dynasty was pulling out. Tours were getting canceled. They weren't getting the time of day in this country. So you don't brag about something that you're not anymore, but still a cool title.
Yeah. Yeah, I can go with that. Number 11 is, 10, damn it, is, somebody's touched on this already. Boom. 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 Sonic Boom. Okay. Yeah, I did get it up until 11th, man. Can you believe that shit? Only reason, yeah, you got a big cracked speaker on the front of it, man. You got their faces in the corners. Yeah, it does have somewhat of a theme. Sonic Boom's wrote pretty cool on there. You know, I like the
That
Yellow
was
Kiss.
as close as they could come to replicating. They were going for rock and roll over on that cover.
Yeah, not even close.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
it does have a little theme to it, and
I'm
it's
sorry. I meant to say they were going for rock and roll over.
rock
There you go,
and
Tommy.
roll. Yeah. But it's better than Monster. I say that shit. So there you go, man. Sonic Boom number 10.
10.
Dynasty is a better album than Monster. Elder is a better album than Monster. Dress to Kill is
hell
a better album than Monster.
Hell, every one of them's better than that damn album.
Yeah.
So what we're taking away from this is Tommy's favorite Kiss album is Monster.
All right,
I'll take it
man.
to my grave. I'll take it to my grave. I will never let it down. I cannot stand that album, and it's gonna piss a lot of people off that I keep mentioning it, but
All
I will
6 of them.
never get tired. I'll never get tired of it. I'll never get tired of saying it. It brings me
Just
joy.
no heart, man. No heart on that album.
See, he's still in his rage. He's got to go through his cycles. I've already went to what album? I never heard of that album before. I'm now in denial. I'm past my rage.
Yeah, man. Been past. Man.
All right,
The
so
denial
number
part-
10 to you.
My number 10 is Sonic Boom.
All right. Ding ding.
Good. To me, it was a good concert.
Yeah, it was. I give him
It was a really good concert. It was the second concert I've been to. Sonic Boom was a Walmart produced album to me. I was kind of excited when they came out with this because I was wondering what they were to come out. And I heard somebody say, dude, this is like rock and roll over. And I said, I highly doubt that it's like anything like rock and roll over. Because I really like that album. And sure shit, I turn it on. To me, it sounds like rock and roll over, but like a modern take to it. Album cover.
I will say Never Enough could have been on Rock and Roll Over.
Yes,
Same guitar,
absolutely.
same beat, same feel as like Tomorrow and Tonight, type of thing. But
Absolutely.
the Gene stuff definitely would not equate to what he did on Rock and Roll Over at all.
The only Gene song I think that's on there, Calling Dr. Love's on there. To me, that I like is, other than Calling Dr. Love, is Love Him and Leave Him. Peter's drum beat to me is just so catchy.
Okay.
Good guitar riff too. But other than that, yeah, number 10, Sonic Boom. Don't like that boom, boom, boom thing that Paul does live. I think he's speaking to preschoolers when he does that. But other than that, it's a good album. Good.
Do you think that's where he got it? Because at the time he had little kids, right? Do you think that's where he got it? He was sitting up, Daddy, what's the new album called? It was Sonic Boom. Can you say boom? Boom.
Yeah, I think he was doing that too. I think he was doing that for the kids as well, because a lot of kids show up at his shows too. So it could have been for the kids.
Jesus Christ. All right. Number 9 for me, speaking of, and this is, again, not part of my criteria for this, but if you want to talk about an album title that makes no sense with the cover, Revenge. What the fuck does a giant sheet of fucking aircraft carrier metal have to fucking do with Revenge? But I like the title, especially if you consider they came out looking angry, sounding angry. It fit. Everything about this fit except for that album cover. Yeah, you could go the war angle and all that, but you really don't know what it is other than just, fucking bolted steel. It could be a fucking backdrop of something completely irrelevant. It does not like it's got the aircraft carrier or a fighter jet or anything on it, really.
Don't it got bullet
Does
holes
the
in it?
American version of the
Got
cover
bullet
have the
holes in
bullet
it, but
holes?
I've seen people with their Honda Civic put them bullet hole stickers on it. That don't mean shit.
Yeah. and blood.
That's the only thing I got for it is the
blood.
bullet holes.
Yeah. But it's a cool fucking title. Number 9, Revenge.
Number 9 for me is the self-titled debut. And the reason I put it this high is because this is our first album. This is us right here. Our faces right here. This is us. Get ready. This is Kiss, man.
I'll tell
And
you, I wish they'd have kept that bling logo.
I love that glitter, man.
Yeah.
That disco ball, if you want to call it, look. Now
It
I
caught
do
your
love
eye.
the sparkly-
Well, it's like
I do love
rhinestones or whatever.
Yes.
It's fucking
Yes.
badass.
the candles, all that shit. I wish they had kept.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's the reason it made it this high is because, like I said, Kiss, this is us. They're not doing anything. You got the black background. You got the shiny. Yeah, man. I know we're not doing album covers here, but this is debut. Their faces is on there. They're not cracking or joking, man. They're serious looking, and that's it. So that's why it made it to number.
And might I add that Gene looks way scarier with that freaky scream look on his face than he does with a tongue sticking out.
Yeah, the scream, man. His makeup was different too, and Peter's was.
I
just
like his
wild.
early makeup. I love Gene's early makeup.
I do too, man.
The only
like
one,
them both.
I mean, Peters was a little excessive on that first cover. But I tell you,
Somebody-
come hotter than hell, I think their makeup was perfect. The only one who evolved better towards like Destroyer was Ace refining his eye makeup. But Gene and Peter looked on that when Peter's got those upside frowning whiskers and he's always holding the fucking dagger and shit. Fucking
Yes.
that was an awesome look for him. And Gene, before he did the things down and it was stayed here and was all up, I fucking love that better.
Yeah.
I wonder
agree,
what would it
man.
be
I
like
like
if Paul did the bandit design instead of the one star.
I actually like it. I know a lot of people hated it, but that's after those photos didn't really come out, Paul in the bandit makeup, until years after everybody's used to him with a star.
It
If
would have
you
been
took-
cool.
It would have
They
been
took a
cool.
lot of pictures. They took a lot of pictures of him, evidently, in that because they only played one show with him doing that, and it
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
gig in Canada.
There was
One
a photo
show,
shoot.
and he went
Yeah.
back. Yeah, he said,
There was
"Nah,
at least one, probably 2 photo shoots because there's all kinds of posing posters with backgrounds and everything. And I think it looked fucking cool. But
Because,
Yeah.
I know that Kiss is about their look, but think about Paul's voice. It wouldn't have affected his voice at all throughout the entire years,
No.
putting on the bandit makeup. I think he'd be more appealing.
Yeah.
Half
Bill
the time you can't see the star.
yeah, that's it. His hair covers it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it looks like a giant black blob half the time. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is that a star or a
You're looking
circle?
at him from the other side, all you're seeing is white. But
Yeah.
Neil Bogart wanted him to change the makeup, and when he changed the makeup, he wanted him to change his persona on stage. He said, "Why don't you lumber around on stage like a caveman? Get
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, man." He wanted
baloney.
him to be, like just a badass, up there, and
we already had
Oh.
that with Gene.
Right.
exactly. And Paul, after that one show, he went back to the Star and never went back to anything else again. So yeah,
All right, who left off?
was that yours? I'm at number 8.
Which album was you talked about?
Uh,
Oh no, I just went with Kiss.
the first Kiss album. That was Scott's.
Oh yeah,
first
that was
Kiss album.
Scott. That's Scott. So it's you, Tom.
Yeah.
My number 8 would be Animalized. I know we're not doing covers. I keep talking about the covers mistakenly.
I did convert them.
And that's where I'm kind of confused.
You're confused because of that, and
You eat a lot of
probably
paint chips when you were a kid? Why?
4 of them, and I won't get into why. Uh, all right. Number 8 would be Animalized. I don't understand what animalized means.
You're animalizing something. It means you're making it animal. Whether it's sex, whether it's your appearance, you're putting an animal touch to it.
Okay, but
You're
there was nothing
analyzing.
animal. But there was really nothing animal about the band at the time.
Did you see what they're
Maybe other
wearing?
than
Did you see what they're wearing?
other than what they're
Yeah.
wearing, maybe. But did Paul ever play the animalized guitar with the leopard print on it?
Yeah.
The cheetah print guitar he played forever, even before Animalized. That was from Creatures of the Night.
Creatures of the Night.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that. I thought he
Yeah.
just pulled it out for Creatures and never saw it
No,
play.
Creatures was way before Animalized.
Yeah,
Well, I
man,
know
he
that,
played-
but like,
No, it was
didn't
mostly
think he
it was
still had
mostly the clothing, because you had 3 ways to go really around this time frame in music. You could leather and stud it up like Priest and a lot of the heavier bands. You could glam it up with the colors, and Kiss wasn't there yet. Or you
Oh.
could come out with your animal prints. Zebra print was huge. I had zebra print fucking bandanas, and fucking animal prints were huge at this time.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know. I honestly don't know that animal print was huge at that time.
And it's a sexual overtone there
Yeah.
too, bro.
Yeah, a
For
lot of
women.
the SRM bondage was leather and animal print. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what they were going for, but that to say something, to say animalized versus when you're doing IZE instead of EYE, as it's not eyes, it's not animals' eyes. You're animalizing it. It's metalize something. You do a cover song of a Journey song, and then Metallica does it. They're going to metalize it. They're going to make
Okay.
it metal.
It's
I mean,
sexual, man. It's sexual.
I'm just trying to, like I said, I'm also trying to break out of my
Everything in
confusion.
this world, Tom, you'll understand, for Scott, is sexual. Everything. The newest
I know
bag,
that.
the new flavor of Doritos, it's sexual. Clearly.
I call Scott Mr. Girls, Girls, Girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
I call Scott Mr. Girls, Girls, Girls because
No, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, man. That's,
Okay.
you are the Gene Simmons of this podcast, Scotty.
oh, no,
Except
no,
without the when it comes to the women, yes.
Without the
no.
ego.
Without the ego of the tongue, but when it comes to love of women, you are the Gene Simmons of this podcast. When it comes to the women,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
And I am the Alfred E. Newman.
Okay.
I am
that-
definitely Eric Singer because
Remember that
I'm like
dorky
the
Hat
child,
magazine character, Alfred E. Newman?
and I'm definitely the Eric Singer because I'm always energized or like a child or not paying attention to something.
You are a child. All right,
Thanks,
my number 8. You guys have both hit it, I believe. Destroyer. I love the title. It does match up with the album cover if you want to go that route. But to me, I think it's a cool ass way of saying I'm going to fucking destroy you. I mean, again, I don't think I ever heard the word destroyer until this album, but then you see robots, you could see one of these transformer things being called the destroyer and stuff like that. It's what? The ship. Okay. It's a destroyer. I was corrected by the wife.
Oh wow.
I never thought of that. It is a ship, a battleship, a destroyer. Yep. Okay.
Mhm.
Now to me, I should have changed that on my list now because I should have.
Wait, man,
Wow.
you already made your bed. You fucked
Well,
up.
yeah, obviously. Might as well lie in the motherfucker, huh? Damn, I didn't look at it like that. Now, shit. I'm such an idiot.
Number 7, Scott.
Number 8.
That's what
Number
I said.
8.
Number 8. I said 8.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
never know what to expect on Tunes
number-
Brothers.
Number 8, you just got done talking about it. Revenge. And yeah, there is a little theme there, and that's the reason it got that high is because
You
of the
guys are
blood,
killing me.
bullet holes, and we're getting revenge, man. We've put out about 3 shitty albums, and not to me.
Oh
They
my.
wasn't all shit, but to the majority, they were. So we're coming back with a bang, and this album cover's rough, raw, and we're going to get revenge on you sorry bastards that thought we were soft. So, yeah.
See, I think Tommy's just realizing now that he's judging these names based on the cover, and we're just saying which were the cooler names.
That's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
Because this would have been a whole different list, let me tell you.
Yeah, we got you caught in the middle. I went one route, he went the
I
other.
got you confused because he's combining the theme, the look, the album title, and I'm saying just the coolest name, and you're playing both sides of the fence and confusing yourself.
There you go, man. You just go with your theme.
Gonna make it?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it.
We're almost done, man.
No, we're good. We're good. I'm just like, damn, like.
I believe it's your turn.
Oh man.
Number 8 on you, Tom Tupa.
My number 7.
8.
Number 8 would have been Analyzed.
Oh yeah. How did you get ahead?
Ah, shit! I was looking at the wrong one. All right, so we'll switch them. My number 8 would be Crazy Nights.
Okay.
Just had to swap them.
Now we're talking about the cover, not just you looking at Paul's blue thong on the back.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Okay.
I love Paul, but I don't love him that much. Crazy Nights, great title for it. I like the glass that's breaking for it. It reminds me of his mirror guitar.
Not a bad cover.
And hell, I really don't think they could have done a better job with it. I call it really a Paul Stanley solo album.
Yep.
That's what I like to call it. Anything from Crazy Nights to Asylum.
That's backwards.
Yeah. I was just pulling them. Animalized too.
Let's face it, pretty much the entire non-makeup era was Paul's solo album. It's all around revenge.
Yeah. But all around, I like that. The title name for it is Crazy Nights. That's my number 8.
Okay.
Number 7, Monster. I don't like energy drinks, but it's a cool name, especially for a rock album. The problem, settle down there, Tommy. This is the name of the album that I like, not the album itself.
Yeah, I like Monster. I just don't like the
name Monster is cool. I mean, like Godzilla. I mean, you're thinking big bad, a monster, right? I mean, but
I just can't help but to think about the album. I'm sorry.
I know. But if you want to add the album cover in it, then it makes no sense. Not at all. It's just another Kiss guy photo that could have been on any album at any time. And the titles becomes insignificant when you look at the cover. It's not a title track. There's literally no purpose at this point in time, if you want to look at the bigger picture, to call this album Monster. It's not a monster as far as hits. It's not a monster as far as a big hard rock sound. There's no monster featured on the cover. It's not the name of a song. So it really is pointless, but it's still a cool title if they had done something more.
I mean, I will give it that. I will give it some degree that it is a cool title when you look at, think about Godzilla and whatnot. But you're right. Everything you said was pretty much nail in the coffin for the rest of it.
Well, that's goes without saying.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think I'll ever hit the denial stage on this album. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, me either, man. Number 7, Psycho Circus. Now, I love the title to this, and I love the theme. They really matched up good with this, even though it was all half-hearted and all fake, like they tried to make us believe. But that's not what we're judging here. The name fits the album cover and the theme. It's Psycho Circus. We're back. Here we come. The Second Coming, whatever. And it's awesome. I love the artwork on it. I think it's a great cover too.
You know,
But,
now that you say that too, the Second Coming, that really does fit, because there was no, I mean, one could have called the original four a fucking psychotic circus of fucking mess. The way they had problems and everything they went through, the inner turmoil and everything, it was like a circus. That's the first thing they say when you walk into a room full of kids running around screaming. It's a fucking circus in here. I mean, there are many layers where that album title could have fit, down to them even including the circus music before the opening track. I mean, they did a good job. Theme-wise, this might have been the best thing they've ever done as a whole package. The only thing lacking was the stage production not being circus enough. But
yeah,
honestly, I wish they ditched the circus intro on the song Psycho Circus.
Oh no, man.
Oh yeah. At that point in time, at that point in time, it was because I've listened to the entire catalog, and I just found the themed albums just way too much at that point for me, and it's just to me it's just long. It's too long. It's dragged out. When I found the version without the intro and it just goes with that and Paul just going, yeah, that to me should have been the version that landed on that album because of how powerful that song is.
The only reason that I wouldn't have put it on there is because they're not and never have been those guys in real life. If you're talking about a band that's went through their career flirting with disaster, man, freaking wild and crazy, man, just, never know what the hell's going to happen next, man. Yes, they're going for the darker theme. They're going for the darker edge, man.
Yeah, and but you could do that without the intro.
You can't do that with Gene and Paul, because at this point in time, you already know what kind of people they are. You can't do that. So, but as far as the album, I love the intro, even though I'm already grown. I know it's, but to me, it fits. I like it. I wouldn't change it. That's just my opinion.
I prefer the version without the intro, and that should have been the opening track for it, and a powerful song underneath it within.
Yeah, I like that. I like a lot on that album. So
here's a hypothetical for you guys, real quick. What happens if Psycho Circus truly was the Second Coming? What happens if that album was the four of them fully on every song, every instrument, split songs, giving Peter a rockin' getaway or main line instead of that fucking piece of shit wannabe Beth Part 2? Having Ace Frehley rock something out, all a Rocket Ride or something instead of that Into the Void. And it's a massive fucking Destroyer-esque success.
Dude,
what happens? Do they throw all that behind the scenes bullshit, inner turmoil that's going on leading to the farewell aside and say, fuck it, we're going to ride this all over again?
You gotta, with everybody sober, showing up 100%, you got a better album than Destroyer. Guarantee it. Better album than Destroyer came out. Guarantee it. Better record sales for it. The concert would have been badass. The concert would have been more badass. There wouldn't have been this turmoil that you could kind of tell. They wouldn't. The Second Coming DVD wouldn't have been a lie.
Exactly.
It would have been the damn truth. It would have been the damn truth. And I think it would have done way better than Destroyer, in my opinion.
Do you think any of those guys? Do you guys think any of those guys, even now to this day, sit back and think, "Man, we fucked this up with that fucking bringing everybody back together and not making it a band effort again"? Forget about contract. I don't care about the money. I'm saying, do you think maybe Paul and Gene have any regrets that they didn't let Ace and Peter be Ace and Peter on that album just to see where it could have went?
Paul, maybe. Gene, no.
No, I don't think neither one of them. I don't think neither one of them, man. You know, Ace, and well, I don't know much about Ace. He was really fucked up at that time too, you know, because Peter was even getting on his ass. You know, man, dude, come on, man. Peter really wanted it. Peter really wanted. He said, man, I wanted to make up for all the shit that I'd done.
Peter wanted it so bad that after he was out again, he came back to do that symphony concert.
Yeah, man. He loved it, dude. He come back and done the Aerosmith tour too, man.
Yeah.
You know, and they couldn't get Ace, to come back, man. See, they would have been switching headline status if Ace would have been there.
Yeah.
I would say Paul. I'd say Paul maybe for the simple reason the fact that Paul's seems to be a very patient person. And I think the downfall with Ace, and I believe with the downfall of Ace would be the money factor of purchasing drugs. The availability that he, the availability. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, if you have a guitarist that is wasted out of their mind and cannot play a single note, you're gonna have problems on that stage.
This was all planned.
What happened,
man?
I guess my thing would have been they hit the studio. Everybody, Peter wasn't having his elbow arthritis problems. Ace was clean and sober, and they were all giving it 100%. Do you think they retired at the end of the road with the original four if Psycho Circus had been a cohesive unit going forward?
Absolutely.
If they wanted to pay them, man, if they wanted to pay them the right kind of damn money instead of treating them like fucking shit.
But take away money out of the equation. Take money
it's
out of
made
the
over $1 million a year, man. I mean,
you can't take away money.
Yes, you can take the money out of the equation.
Because we would
put
probably
the
not
magic back in the studio. Put the magic back in the studio.
What if Peter and Ace was off enough, man, and refused to do the fucking reunion tour? Where would they be now? Only because of that reunion tour that they've made it as long as they have, and even made 2 fucking albums.
Well, Revenge still went gold. All right, so let's not act like Kiss wasn't selling records.
No, they was, but the Revenge tour, as good as the album was, man, they were really slacking in the stadiums and stuff, man. They was jumping down the
but pretty much, unless your name was Guns N' Roses, pretty much anybody in the rock scene was not playing stadiums. Basically, they'd have been on the level, in my opinion, if Revenge, first of all, if Revenge was the way they were going to stay with no hints of the fucking reunion, I think Carnival of Souls gets scrapped halfway through. And they decide to say fuck you to the grunge thing and stay the course a la AC/DC. Would they have been as big as AC/DC? No, absolutely not.
No.
But I mean, if Warrant can stay around, if Skid Row can stay around minus Sebastian Bach, and all these bands can stay around playing casinos and fairs and stuff like that for a few years until they build something up again, they'd still be there. And I think Kiss is the kings of reinventing themselves.
It's just not at that level. Them doing that reunion tour put them in fucking stadiums, not just college.
But let's not forget that pretty much every one of those 80s albums went platinum.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were playing stadiums then. They were playing coliseums then, too, man.
Right. But so I'm saying I think they would have weathered the grunge storm, reinvented themselves, and at the end of the day, elevated, not to where they finished. They were top of the world when they finished, but they would have been back up to headlining bigger, maybe not stadiums, but arenas, because they bring one thing. They bring one thing that nobody else does, and that's a show.
Yeah, they would always.
There is no concert out there. I don't care who you are that could put on a better show than Kiss.
No, and everybody goes back to the gatefold of Alive 2, and they give the makeup Kiss stage way too much credit. First of all, that was every inch of pyro ignited at the same time for a photo.
Same time. Yeah.
Yes. Their 80s stage shows Kiss put on buried the 70s Kiss shows. Buried them. Yeah, and there was no giant Sphinx, Statue of Liberties, and all this stuff back in the 70s. I mean, they were epically further and much bigger with their stage production in the 80s. And I think they would have kept that up provided they could afford to. They were in a lot of financial trouble. I'll say that. Around Revenge, they were bankrupt. They owed millions in fucking taxes to the IRS.
That has something to do with all the stage setups they couldn't pay back.
And it's why the reunion tour was pushed. Don't kid yourself. Paul and Gene were in no hurry to reunite with Ace and Peter.
Well,
but when they saw the reaction at that Unplugged, dollar signs started dancing. Here's how we pay our debt. Here's how we can move back into multiple mansions.
But
as far as paying Peter and Ace, I mean, they were making over $1 million a year. That's nothing to fucking sneeze at. Talk to all these 80s hair metal mans, and they don't make that in 10 years now.
Right. So throw the money out of the equation, and you just put in the magic of all four members.
Like paid $10. Phew, man. But hey, Peter hung in there. Like I said, man, he was willing to. He was willing to, man. But Paul called him the day he hadn't heard from Paul in a while, but Paul called him the day his contract run out. And told him, man, you seemed like you was having trouble and, using all this kind of stuff. I can't remember the exact words, man, he said. But we'll get into that in the book.
I will tell you this. They did have to put triggers on Peter's drums because
man.
His elbows were so bad he couldn't hit them hard enough. So I mean, we weren't there. Yeah. We weren't there. And if any of us has a business that's thriving and starts to hurt because key members of that business are underachieving, you don't know what you would have done if you're Paul and Gene to try to keep that cash cow going. None of us do.
Realistically, no.
Yeah.
All right. Who left off with what?
And we don't know the inside, everything. No. I mean, we just know what we've been told,
That's
so
yeah.
I think I had Psycho Circus for number 7.
Tommy.
My number 7 is Hotter Than Hell. I love the album title to this, Hotter Than Hell. This is, again, Kiss is a band that was monstrous with image and looked like a band that came out of hell at the time in the early 70s, late 70s as well. Album cover wise, freaked me out as a kid, honestly.
Yeah, me
it really
too.
did. Even to this day, looking at it at the age of almost 32, Sunday will be my birthday.
You're so old.
I always tried to figure out what the hell was going on back as a kid. I always tried, what the hell are they doing, man?
I mean, that's what I was talking about.
One of the chicks was blue.
I know.
They looked, I think they were going for like an undead look. Hotter than hell, hell kind of
Wasn't Ace in a silver aluminum fucking spacesuit or some shit? Just weird.
Man. And they were being related to Black Sabbath on that album. They got
I see the Black Sabbath influence, especially with the bat on it. Like that. But that bat would have looked better on Elder or Unmasked or something.
And Gene's hair.
I mentioned it one of it. Gene's hair is something else.
It's not his hair, but his damn things, man. It looks like his
one thing I want to know:
hair's curled up.
Has they always wore wigs, or was it actually their real hair the entire time?
Nobody can give us
a long time.
Yeah, nobody can give a straight answer. I think the wigs started when they butched their hair for the Elder. Because at that time, because Gene was going to do that fucking horrible movie with Tom Selleck, Runaway, and his hairline was fucking receded way back, short hair. There's pictures of Paul in nightclubs with fucking next to no hair on top.
Yeah.
I think at that point they decided, let's just throw wigs on. What boggles my mind is that's the case. If you look at the I Love It Loud video and you look at their wigs, circa 82, what the fuck's the excuse for them ridiculous wigs, especially Paul in 2024? Paul's hair looks like something you would get at a fucking Halloween shop for the last 20 years.
It's
horrible. So it looked like a Party City wig.
Right. So if they were wearing wigs in the 80s, that looked like real fucking hair. The
Yeah.
shit Paul's been wearing is ridiculous. And Gene's fucking 1985, 84 Animalized concert video.
Oh,
What the fuck?
God. And his revenge
He
wig.
looked
He looked like a damn coonskin cap.
he looked like a football player wearing a fucking tutu.
And that ridiculous little tiny strap of a headband.
Like what?
Yeah.
I'm kind of
he-
glad that he ditched that look straight away. I'm so
Yeah.
glad he did that
I'm
because it
just
would have
curious,
been.
how does wig technology get worse as time advances?
It did
Because
on them.
if they were indeed wearing wigs in the 80s, that shit looked like real fucking hair. It got wet when they sweated, everything. Now Paul's flat looks like a porcupine helmet, and it has for the better part of 20 years. I don't get
I
it.
don't know, man. I mean,
I
if
don't
you look
get
at
it
the
either.
Revenge Tour, the Alive 3 tour, you could tell that they are legs because they are absolutely
think-
too ridiculously
I actually
long.
Well,
think they
their
were
wigs-
wearing them in
Their
the live
wigs are
too.
extensions, but it looks very real, especially Paul's hair. When he
does.
starts going over one eye, that shit looks like a full-on healthy head of hair.
Yeah.
I tried to do that with my
Sure
hair. My hair does that with the swoop.
All right, so
Weird.
where are we at? We're gonna get through this
I think
eventually.
it's on you with
I'm
number
sorry, guys. 7.
6 for you,
Number 6, okay.
Rob.
Dress to Kill, one of the most ridiculous album covers by any band in existence. That aside, it is a cool name. If they wanted to name this according to the way the album cover looked, I would have said Dress to the Nines or something. Because to me, Dress to Kill, unless they're going for the James Bond theme, mobsters wear black suits, cool looking stuff. Hitmen wear leather and black clothing. So they look like they're dressed to go to prom as the guys who couldn't get prom dates. But Dress to Kill, no, not so much. But still a cool name.
Yeah. And a flood too, by the way.
Yeah, and a flood. Gene's ready for the fucking next fucking typhoon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Number 6 for me is Unmasked. Yeah. Now I understand it's corny, cheesy, whatever, but it's got a theme to it. And yeah, hey, the photograph dude, the paparazzi dude, he does get a couple of pictures of them, even though part of their face is, covered. But anyway, they're taking their masks off. They're unmasked, but the makeup's still on. It don't say nothing about the makeup. It's the mask. Okay. It's got a theme to it, and I've always loved the cover. I know this ain't got nothing to do with the cover, but I'm combining them to, come up with some kind of cohesiveness between the two. So Unmasked does have a little relatable thing, even though inside of the album, you think you're going to get a picture or a poster without makeup, but you get the same poster with Gene sticking his finger through his mouth. So Unmasked, number 6.
6 to you, Tom.
My number 6 is Love Gun. I don't understand why Paul thought it was a good idea to be obsessed with his dick. If like others have said before, if you notice that the letters on the back of the album form a dick, I think it's time for you to get out of the closet and start wearing the dresses. Because don't worry, we'll love you either. We'll love you the same. That's what my father always told me. So I'll say the
So your
same thing.
dad kind of suspected that you were pitching for the other team, huh?
Some at one point or another, yes, because I wasn't bringing home girls. I wasn't one of those guys that brought home girls.
Oh no, never bring them home. That way they know where you live.
Yeah, that was the rule. You just told me don't bring them home.
Never bring them home. When you're a teenager banging and having fun, you always do that shit where they can't find you.
At one point, my dad was worried.
That's how you get the clingers.
But then he found the Wasp album in my room. It was like, okay, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He's banging chicks.
That's the same.
Okay.
Number 6 again, Love Gun. I know we're not talking about covers, but as far as covers go, I think it's a badass looking cover.
Yeah.
They look like gods on that album cover, just standing there like this, Gene going like this. Yeah, man. Not to mention the tracks on it, fucking heavy. Love Gun, number 6.
My number 5, Crazy Nights. I love the name, the concept of it just screams party. Again, the album cover doesn't really have anything to do with it, but I love the title. I always did. I thought that was cool. If you're wondering what Scott's doing, he's not itching the tip of his wiener. He's petting his cat.
Yeah, because you will not get. But
you want my creature?
Okay.
Yeah, I see your creature crawling around on the trees all the time when you're on camera.
It's like I said, it's a wild animal. I adopted a wild animal. But
usually
I love it.
You'll see a tail behind me wagging. Looks like I got a damn tail.
Yeah.
But that's what Darren, he picked that out. He said, I thought your tail was wagging. And I had to look back, and there she was, with the tail.
Darren, listen, man.
Number 4,
5 to me is
5 to you, yes. That's what
Rock
I said.
and roll over, man. And of course, you got the Rock and Roll Over. I always wish they would have made that album, and I know they've got them nowadays, but I don't have one with that on the album, like a saw blade when it's playing. That would have really been cool back in the day. Hell, it'd be cool now. But Rock and Roll Over, probably one of my favorite covers. No, it's not covers, but you can turn that one in any direction, man, and it's never upside down. Rock and Roll Over, dude. Blackie Lawless got his saw blade from Rock and Roll Over.
Oh, yeah, he did. Sorry, I love Wasp too.
Number 5.
Having problems there, Tom?
Trying to get this record back in there without damaging it, because I just realized this is a record from 1976. So this is one of the 76 prints. I don't pay attention when I don't pay attention when I buy albums. So, my number 6. Are we not number 6? My number 6. My number 5 is Rock and Roll Over.
Oh, hey.
As a kid, 4 years old, I would go to sleep with that album in my headphones on a CD player. And the minute it stopped, I'd wake up.
How did you get the album and the CD player in your headphones?
The CD player?
Yeah.
How do you fit it inside there and the album?
Not the album itself, but
you said you had the album inside your headphones.
Well, I had the vinyl and then I had the CD. Oh, well.
I just fucking. He thinks I'm serious.
I used to have some of those back in the day. You could plug the headphones into the album.
I also had that. I also had that too. But with the CD player, I would put the CD in there and I'd fall asleep to that album. And restart it when I wake up. Rock and Roll Over, great title, great looking album, great sounding album. It's one of my favorites. Can't go wrong with it.
No.
Okay, number 4, probably my all-time favorite cover, but the name is spectacular as well, Creatures of the Night. This is another one where they hit the theme dead on. This cover definitely reflects the album title, the glowing eyes, them standing in the dark with the blue moonlight. Absolutely awesome. Who can forget the poster that came out in the record stores of the loudest band in the world with them all standing in that night scene? Greatest cover ever for Kiss, in my opinion, but I love the title too. The title is just cool as hell.
Perfect, man. All right. Number 4 for me is Destroyer. And we just set the world on fire, man, and here we come. That's what it. the hours I sit and just stared at that damn album cover, man, I probably couldn't count as 7, 8 year old, while I'm listening to it and trying to figure out what the hell are they doing, man. I mean, they're on top of a mountain and they just destroyed everything below, or
Honestly, at 5 years
oh,
old, I thought they were evil incarnate looking at that album cover with the destruction
yeah,
behind it. And
yeah,
they looked, each one of them looked evil and just weird. And it was just that and Creatures of the Night are the two covers I stared the most at in my entire life.
dark. Just we're destroying everything and annihilating everything we come through, man. Destroyer number 4. Great title. Yeah.
Can you imagine? This is what kids are missing. I was 5 and just staring for hours at that album cover. Nowadays, 5-year-olds are watching Dora the fucking Explorer and cheesy shit like that, or playing on their fucking phones.
Video game.
What a
Yeah, that's all it
travesty.
is now.
Any of you people out there, you're going to be our age. So if you got kids who recently have kids, tell them at a very young age to make that kid stare at Kiss albums. It will fuck them up for life, but it's worth it.
Yeah, man. Hell
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, look
Okay.
how I turned out.
Yeah. Your call, Tom. 4.
My number 4 is Asylum. I love the title album, the title to it, Asylum. I like the cover. I believe it's the reason why they painted their all faces all pasty. I think of asylums as haunted places, so they look like ghosts almost coming through an asylum door without bars, and it actually kind of to me adds a creepy vibe to it with their lipstick. So they look undead. They're ghosts. They're trapped inside of an asylum. They haven't seen the light of day. They're pale, and it's
that
just,
is
That's a
fucking
damn
angle.
fact.
I've never fucking thought of something like that.
That's a hell of an imagination right there, brother.
You got a twisted mind there, Tommy.
Yeah, man.
you
Wow.
would not believe, my friend. You have no idea.
That is creative to the bone.
I've known to write short horror stories. I scrapped one just recently to write a
Careful,
book.
those fall into the wrong hands. People are going to think you're a serial killer in the waiting.
A lot of them sent me to the office as a kid. A
Oh,
lot
I'm
of my
sure.
teachers were concerned. Is this kid okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I know right from wrong. I just like scaring the shit out of it. And they were real.
Yeah.
They
I always
spoke-
like dark stuff, man.
Like, if
Horror
you get your
movies.
teacher-
I got
if
into
you-
all that shit.
If you can get
Hell, I
your
work in the
teachers,
operating room, brother. What the hell else can you say,
but as an elementary student, imagine getting your elementary peers and teachers scared to death of what you're writing.
That's
You
fabulous.
did something. Yeah, right.
Can't get right.
All right, number 3 for me. You guys have both mentioned Psycho Circus, so I'm not going to go in depth on this one. We all know the image, the theme, everything was set in motion. The title fits perfectly. One of the greatest opening tracks they've ever had to an album and or live show, and just a badass fucking name. It just Psycho Circus. It just screams psychotically horror show type evilness. Love it.
Yeah. Number 3 for me, Hot in the Shade. Yeah, number 3, man. Yeah,
Wow.
you got the glasses on Leon Spinks, and it's got a theme to it.
Leon Spinks. You see what they did there? I completely forgot they made the boxer crossover too.
They could have went with Leon or Mike. Didn't he have a
Mike.
brother, Michael Spinks, too? Yeah, but they
Yep.
went with Leon Spinks. Yeah, man, Hot in the Shade, man. It has a theme to it, man, and it's the best, one of the best concerts I ever seen in my damn life.
Fucking A, man.
I'm not talking
Laser
about concerts
lights
now.
go on for miles in the outdoor fucking shows, man. Fucking
Oh, dude,
fabulous.
just
Fabulous.
Especially during Hard Your Heart and Forever, it was spectacular. Just by watching it
Perfect,
on
man.
YouTube and
Perfect,
TV.
bro. They
I
sounded
can do it.
good again, man. I mean, they always sounded good, but they wasn't speeding the songs up. They were playing things. They were getting deep into catalog again, man. And it
The
just,
opening with "I Stole Your Love," for Christ's sake. I mean, wow.
yeah. And the only time I heard them open up with that was the reunion tour, man. And until then, that's the only
Now,
2 times I think.
did they play the same set list as the one they recorded for Kissology, and that's on YouTube? Because they started that one with "I Stole Your Love" too.
Yes, all I know is it was like fucking 15 fucking songs or some insane number for back then. Watching You, I think, was part of it. They drug out "I Want You" made a comeback into it. That's when Paul started doing his huge fucking vocal solo at the end. It was fucking something to see and hear, man. And they sound, like Scott said, they for once told Eric Carr to slow the fuck down and
They were
play
able
the
to get him
song.
to slow down.
Yeah,
I didn't think that was possible.
Shit. That was fucking Kiss on steroids, man. It sounded like a modern version of Alive. But everything was played at the perfect pace. There was so much energy, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, it was I am so glad I got to see that twice.
Yeah, me too. Twice, bro. And my favorite part probably was when they started playing "I Want You," and when they started getting heavy, the damn Sphinx was breaking down, smoking, and the Kiss sign came up in the back, dude. Man, it was, everybody just went fucking crazy, bro. It was bad. Damn, man, they could have been doing stuff like that all along. Anyway, we'll get way out there on that. But Hot in the Shade, man, yeah. The theme, the album cover, number 3 for me. Absolutely.
3 to you, Tommy.
My number 3, Ring the Bell, Hot in the Shade.
All right, man.
One of my favorite, again, one of my many favorites of my childhood to listen to. And the album, for as far as album cover concerned, it looks like a postcard saying hello.
Well, it's even got the postage stamp on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just it looks like they're telling you like hello from Egypt. It also would have been cool.
That big stamp.
It also would have been cool to call it "Rise to It."
Yeah.
But I think "Hot in the Shade" is a perfect thing for it because, again, you got Leon with the glasses, and it looks like a poster card. One of those joke poster cards you would get at a tourist rack.
Yeah.
And if you have the CD, it is so cool, man. The CD.
Yeah, it's on the disc. The orange,
the
orange Sphinx.
The orange. The
I didn't have the
glasses are
CD.
mirrors.
I had the cassette tape.
Oh, okay. The glasses are mirrors on my CD.
Yeah, on the CD. Cool. Yeah. It's fucking. It's badass.
I gotta find me the fucking CD just to have it.
It is definitely.
But no, I had the cassette tape of that. I had the cassette tape of "Hot in the Shade."
I had that first. That's what I got first. Yep.
But that "Hot in the Shade" is my number 3.
There's the CD.
That is so fucking cool, man.
See how the glasses are mirrors?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, just same thing I got.
Okay, so that's number 2 to me. We're getting there.
Yeah,
Animalize. One of my favorite one of my favorite Kiss covers. I always loved Animal Print. I love how they stroke 3 different fucking animal prints in there. They call it Animalize. The back is the post-apocalyptic Mad Max setting with them. I loved everything about this other than it was very poorly produced sound-wise. But it's just a cool name. And again, probably a name that had never, or a word that had never been really mentioned in any other context until this album. I just think there's something cool about Animalize. I just think that is so fucking badass.
I do too. And I'm gonna piggyback off of you. We finally hit Animalize number 2, man. Damn right, dude. The cover is awesome. That's Kiss without makeup cover there, bro. You got
Yeah.
the animal skins, you got the Animalize written so damn cool in blood. I mean, and you got the yellow Kiss, man. It just ignites with each other, dude. And yeah, man, it was the perfect album cover too for the time, dude. They just come off a Lick It Up, man, and you definitely need to go in a different direction than that. Everybody knows what you look like now. And evidently I love the way it sounds better than Rob. I think it sounds really good. Now I may
Really?
have something.
I thought you didn't like the production on there that Paul did.
No, that's why I've always said I do not believe that Paul and Gene.
Well-
It says Paul. Gene wasn't even around. On the
Yeah,
back
let
of it,
me-
it says produced by Paul Simmons and Gene Paul Simmons and Gene Stanley. You get that? Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. Bullshit. There's no way they single-handedly made that sound that good.
Here, let me clarify, because remember I've said that most of the Billy Squier albums are so fucking quiet. That's my problem with Animalize. It's not so much the sound, it's that if you're listening to a mix, right, and they play one off a Destroyer or something, I'll Lick It Up, and then something from Animalize comes, you got to get up and turn the fucker up to equal the volume of the last one.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right about that. But if we turn it up, the sound sounds great. It's not like the Hot in the Shade sound. It's low and sounds like shit. But Animalize, it might be low, but it sounds good when you turn it up. I think the sound, the drums, the dun 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 dun, and you can tell when Bruce is playing and when Mark St. John's playing on that album too. But it sounds good to me. But yeah, you do got to jack it up. So Animalize number 2, dude. Great cover.
2 to you, Tommy.
My number 2 would be Revenge. I love the title name of it. It's just we're coming back as Revenge. The tour was amazing, as far as I'm told.
It was.
Well, I should know because I had the concert on DVD, Confidential, and Extreme Close Up, and
front row, brother.
To me, one of the best albums I've listened to from them.
Let me tell you my bone to pick with that fucking concert as far as Confidential. What's with the fucking black and white back and forth? I've
always wondered that myself.
I hate that shit. Why are bands always trying to recapture that 50s black and white crap? The stage is so cool, so colorful, and then for like 3/4 of the song, it's in fucking black and white. Between that and the nonstop camera angle switches, so you really can't see anything that's going on as a group. It's just up close, up close, up close. I don't like the way
why. I can see why the camera angles, because of how fast Paul, Gene, and Bruce are moving on that stage.
What I'm saying is back out so I can see all 4 on the stage once in a while.
That's understandable.
Yeah, great show, bro. Got that one twice too.
That one I never came. It would have been in Minneapolis, and at that point in time, it was just too far and too much of a hassle.
Yeah.
I wish now I would have fucking went, but whatever. All right, so now number 1 to me. Shocked me that Scott had this so low, because the title is about as badass as you can get, Hotter Than Hell.
I knew that was it.
I just, and unlike Scott, I like this album, but it's never been one of my favorites. That title, I mean, and the obligation that Paul had to deliver something that could live up to that title, and he fucking did it. If you name a song Hotter Than Hell, that better fucking be epic.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if Back in Black from AC/DC was some half-assed fucking, mid-tempo fucking blase filler. You better bring it. when you have a title so cool, Hotter Than Hell, Back in Black, Enter Sandman. I mean, when you come up with these killer fucking stick in your brain titles, you better bring the fucking goods. And usually bands are able to pull it off. He did it here, of course, but I just think that is a badass title.
Damn right, it is. It is. The title alone is badass, man. You know, it's probably my favorite album at this point in time. So,
Is
hell
it me
yeah,
or is
man.
Hotter Than Hell one of their considered one of their heaviest albums?
It should
Yeah,
be.
that was grunge before.
I really think it
grunge
should have been.
First.
Oh,
That's heavier than Revenge. I'd say the only thing
because it's just-
heavier,
the tracks
The
are
only
dirty. They're
heavier
loud.
would be Carnival of Souls. But we're really looking at two different genre types there when you compare that to Hotter Than Hell. But as a classic Kiss album, that's definitely, in my opinion, the hardest album they've ever done.
Yeah, it's raw. It's definitely raw.
Oh, that's a good fucking. That's
Right, yeah.
That's as close as you're gonna get to a record company releasing four guys sitting in a studio just playing the song straight through, which we all know doesn't happen, but it sounds like it. It sounds like they just hit record and these guys just played fucking 8-9 songs, whatever it is.
Yep. Sounds. I've always loved it. So yeah. Number 1, Creatures of the Night. Damn. Fucking title. We're the creatures of the fucking night, bro. And we all look at it.
You better live up to that title with that song being a title track, and it does.
Here we are.
Man, does
4
it fucking
creatures
live
of
up.
the night. 4 vampires getting ready to suck the life out of your ass, man. We're taking over the town,
fucking
bro.
in the background. I mean, they nailed that fucker big time.
Yes, that is a concept of a album title and
the back of this album art,
back it up, man.
the lightning,
And
the clouds,
everything complete, perfect. The only thing that could have been done different on there is Creatures of the Night wrote different, maybe like Animalize, kind of wicked looking. But outside of that, dude, hey, it's perfect, man.
That album is, to me, way more of a perfect overall visual and audible production and release than Destroyer will ever be. I'm sorry. I know how epic Destroyer is. I know that Destroyer is the bulk of their fucking, set lists and all of that. But when you're talking about the appearance of the album, the evilness, the darkness of it, the music that fits the darkness of this is way heavier than Destroyer. It's just always been one or two bouncing back and forth with Lick It Up because they both have that dark, tough ass, fucking no nonsense rock metal sound versus cheesy hair metal sound.
Yeah.
Which I like too. I like both styles of music, but Creatures and Lick It Up to me should be praised every bit as high as the Dave Butt and Destroyer.
Yeah, I agree too, man. That's heavy metal Kiss, bro.
Paul ignores it. And Paul ignores it for reasons I recently discovered in an older video. He refuses to celebrate Vinnie Vincent.
Get over yourself.
It's the songs, dude. Fuck the guys, man. It's the songs.
There you
Get over yourself.
The 2 albums he could be the most proud of and say, I'm a legitimate singer and songwriter. We are a heavy band to be taken seriously. And he ignores them over petty shit like that. That's your Paul family.
And this is what I love about Kiss. Kiss is just that band that loves to piss me off with their petty high school bullshit. You're grown-ass men. Get over it.
Right. And that's how 90% of the Kiss world feels. But Paul and Gene will sit there on the interview and act like you're inferior. You don't know what you were talking about. We're the intellectuals. We know better.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you hired your Kiss fans as your manager, the band would have been a lot bigger.
And I tell you one thing, the set list would be drastically different every tour.
Oh, absolutely.
Every fucking tour.
Every set list, every costume, everything about it would be different every show.
We wouldn't know
Kiss's problem. Kiss's problem is a lot of bands who got successful's problem is they reached that success too fucking fast, and then they fucking went on cruise control. Like Scott's brought it up many times where Peter would say, we can do whatever the fuck we want to do. Who gives a fuck what it sounds like? It's going to fucking sell 1 million records anyway.
And look what happened.
Yep.
Well, it worked. It worked for the whole entire 70s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I mean-
all right. You're number one, Tom.
My
Number
number
one.
one is the mother and father of all comeback albums.
Monster?
Creatures of the Night.
All right.
I'm gonna have a stroke. I'm gonna have a stroke. I feel my lip drooping, my ears bleeding, and my brain melting out of my skull.
He's gonna have to take his Xanax after this one.
I'm gonna have to take a bath. I'm gonna have to take a bath in bleach.
Oh, oof.
Okay,
Don't-
Creatures of the Night, you're saying.
The greatest, the mother and father of all comeback albums, Creatures of the Night. You cannot get any heavier than this album. The title, the look, the sound, the lyrics, everything up to production and photo shoot, if there was one. I'm not too sure.
Yes, there was.
Mine, I don't think Mine Record came with
Yes, there was.
any pictures, but no, it didn't.
No,
but
no,
sadly.
but there, you look online, man. There are plenty of photos.
there. I got to see what they looked like during that
Oh,
Creatures
fucking
tour.
bad. The only problem I have with this album, even though he didn't play on it, Ace's unitard that he was wearing, that fucking spandex onesie with a lightning bolt going all the way down, looks like a retarded gymnastics guy.
I was
but-
about to say.
But
Yeah,
otherwise,
that's Ace would have been in a different uniform if he wasn't even on the album. So
Yep.
they used him for the video and the front of it, and that's why he used the elder.
Do you think that maybe
I mean-
they fitted that costume originally for Vinny?
No,
and
no,
Vinny
no.
and
It
Ace
was
are about
Ace's
the same
on
size.
the elder. It was Ace's on the elder. That's
I was
what
talking
Ace
about
is.
Creatures.
yeah,
Yeah,
Vinny
yeah.
Ace on
He-
Creatures, and Ace is on the
He's
cover.
using the same one.
Ace has been wearing that same outfit since Killers.
Oh, really?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep, Killers,
Yep.
Killers, The
Elder.
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 Oh, I didn't know
Creatures.
that. I didn't know that.
They all were actually. Killers outfits were the same as the Elder outfits, and for the most part, the same as Creatures outfit. So you got to realize
Gene-
Killers for Killers being overseas only, and obviously no videos, no tour, and then the Elder, no videos, no tour, and what little bit of photo shoots you can get is in the white room. They weren't seen for years, so they just carried them outfits through.
Oh,
Yeah. Now, Gene and Paul's drastically changed on Creatures
Well,
from the elder.
yeah, on Creatures, yes.
Yeah.
did Paul wear a cut
Ace's
t-shirt?
and Eric's pretty
Paul-
much the same.
Yeah, well, yeah, Paul, his outfit on photo shoots is the open-chested typical thing, but yes, on stage he wore Kiss t-shirts, cut up
Why did he
t-shirts.
wear that instead of wearing the costume?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Like that's
And
just
Gene
I-
and the elder was just like in brass, man, all
Yeah.
gold.
but he
looking
had
brass.
the metal. But he had the metal armor on him
In Creatures.
Yeah,
in Creatures. Yeah.
he changed. Yeah.
Oh, you
But
guys.
in
know
the
that.
Elder, I think he had some kind of chainmail sleeves.
Yeah.
He
Medieval
did. Like a knight
Yeah,
used to wear something.
chain
Yeah.
link.
Yeah.
He was wearing chain link.
He was wearing a
It
chain link
actually
vest.
was pretty damn cool, man. Now, Paul's, I hated his elder. God dang.
It's a
him
great.
boots.
Hold on now. We've got a history lesson in the making. Tommy
I'm
says
not
that
gonna
the Old Knights and Gene Simmons wore chain link clothing. Like your fence outside.
They're usually used
Chain
for
mail,
fencing.
Tom. Chain mail.
Chainmail. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Y'all lost me there for a second.
I had a vision of Gene Simmons wrapped in
For
a chain link.
for you viewers out there, before you hate on me too much, yes, I was the student that rode the special bus. I'm proud of it though, because not only am I dumb, but I'm funny and smart.
Absolutely.
We'll take it.
Not all of us can be as smart as Darren.
That's right. We're talking about you. That's right. Yeah.
I
We know
can be.
you're
I
get-
just
we
choose
know
not
you're
to
getting
be.
addicted, but it's okay, man. It'll be all right. It happens to all of us once in a while.
All right. That's our 20 Kiss album titles ranked least favorite to favorite. Tomorrow, I think Darren's available, so have your final Kiss album ready just in case. If not, you guys can have prepared the other Scott topic, which was your least favorite to favorite off of the studio albums only, not solo albums, not live albums, not best of albums, your favorite opening song.
Yep.
Got that, Tom? Has nothing to do with the album in its entirety.
Oh, I
Just
have the opening song.
favorite opening song. And I know
I have
yours
the
is
opening
going to
song.
be probably Modern Day Delilah.
The
But
same albums we done just now.
Actually, I think my list will actually
lead
shock
off
you.
track.
Really.
okay. So one way or the other,
no,
they
no.
Are we
Hell or
doing it
Hallelujah
at night?
will be his number one, not Modern Day Delilah.
which one?
Hell or Hallelujah.
Oh, either way, they both suck. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Are we doing it at night or
if
during
it's
the day?
gonna be us three, we can do later nights like this. If it's Darren and we're gonna do the Kiss album, I have to see when he's available
Are we
because he's
waiting
got the
for,
little one. And
Are we waiting for
no, Glenn, I love you. No, I
Glenn?
told Glenn if he ever wants to do this again, it's got to be on a weekend. But we put this Kiss album off long enough.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So if it's going to be just us, either way, there's going to be a Kiss video tomorrow, barring something unforeseen screwing it up. Either the Kiss album or our favorite lead-off tracks. So there you go. All right, then I will cue the old ending of the show and be back with you guys in a second.